So they did posters for him, and we, how many kids are killing themselves now?
Yeah, because of bullying.
How to be supportive? How to stand up with someone that's being bullied?
And that's a good point too. Yeah,
so some of the kids can tell you, they've been talking to other people and said, you're not supposed to bully. That's not nice, and they signed a little card, so so they work on that, and they'll tell you that. But yeah, they tell all the new people when they come in, this is a no bully zone and this is a safe zone.
See, that's what's up, because they driving it too. They got it too. And
when it gets dark, the adults are the only ones that go to that door. We don't let them back out that door once we come inside. There's no in and out. You're inside. That's the other reason that we did the permission slip, so the parents would know where they're at. You're able to contact us. And say, all right, it's my child over there, because one of the little boys, his mom thought he's at the basketball court. He done came over here. Wow. She came over here fussing. I said, now you understand why you have to let your mom know where you're at, because something could have happened to you. And I said, do you see her expression? And she was hysterical. Yeah. He said, I understand.
And on that note, we're gonna turn the mic over to Elaine, and she's gonna be talking about some safe tips that we can accomplish. Thank you, Vivian. Some safe tips what we can do to keep our youth safe this summer.
Right, so we just kind of go over some quick tips for safety things. One of them being bug safety. Bugs like scented things such as soap and perfume and maybe some hairsprays. Make sure you avoid putting that on your body, like heavy concentration of, if you do go outside, if you're being in an area where other kids are as well. Okay. What you can do, you also can address your child in clothing that are not so vibrant. Things like that, so it doesn't attract the little bugs, because they like things that are bright. They see it, they're going to go to it. So that's really important. Make sure you're always applying some type of insect repellent. You get it over the counter or Walmart or something like that. Uses less than $5. You can spray that on their skin. So if they're outside, make sure you spray that on them. Okay. And let your kids know, hey, if you get bit by something, let me know. Come in the house so we can treat it. If they do start to have a reaction, you always can do like Benadryl or diphenhydramine, which is the generic name of it, and give that to them. Okay. As far as other type of safety, if they're going outside to play with their friends, or playground safety, you should always make sure it's somewhere that has those loose mats. Don't ever do anything that has those little pieces of bark, the thick wood, and the plain dirt, because that's really dangerous if they were to fall and hurt themselves. So somewhere that's smooth and even. So if they do run and play, they're able to get their gripping and things like that. Some of the older playground materials, those are slightly dangerous and outdated. That could be a hazard to your child as well. So if you go to most playgrounds now, the stuff is friendly. It doesn't have the lead-based things in it anymore because of that.
Oh, so that's the reason why they switched them.
Yes, that's why they switched it.
Oh, okay. And then no, I just thought they wanted to spend some more money.
Right. Right. And always make sure if your child is swinging, make sure that there's an adult accompanying the child pushing it, not a toddler or their brother or sister. Because sometimes kids can go crazy and just start going out of control, push them really super high, things like that. Make sure if you do have your children going outside, make sure they are accompanied by an adult or someone who is responsible to actually intervene if something were to happen while they were on the playground. And also know that 911 is your friend. So if you do have an issue that arises while they're out there, just go ahead and call and get immediate assistance. If they fall or they're not moving, or if they have problems breathing, just always call 911.
Yeah. What about safety as it relates to strangers?
Right. So if you're outside playing and you see something or somebody that looks suspicious, or you don't know the person, always you can scream, fire. That actually gets people more alerted versus you just saying, help. That's been proven. Fire. People will go directly and actually intervene. Always tell your kids, don't take anything from strangers. If you see somebody with a lollipop or ice cream or popsicles in the summer, tell you to come here. You don't take it at all. You just start leaving, or what you can do, like I said, scream fire or something like that, or go to an adult so they can help you. Because you see a lot of people do hang around those playgrounds, because a lot of people have their kids running around unattended, and you see that. They're waiting for kids, and it takes nothing but a second to go and get a child. Especially if they're tiny and little, just grab them up and no one would ever know.
And we don't think they're sitting in the distance just looking at the kids, but it doesn't take long for someone to pick you.
Grab and put in a car.
And we don't think about the safety like that. We don't think. We just think, okay, we going out, taking the kids and play, but we don't think about safety. We think about just taking them out, getting them a break, and let them have fun.
Right.
And that's your time to chill.
Yeah.
Right. On the switch, I'm just going to stay right here.
You're not paying attention to what's going on. But I've seen personally kids, like when I did pediatrics, they would come in with like head traumas, like closed head traumas. They will fall, hit their head, or something crazy will happen. So please watch your kids when they're out on the playgrounds, because it's not but a second they can get hurt like that quick, you know. So I want to keep that in mind. As if they're riding bicycles, most kids ride bikes now. Make sure they always, wear a helmet, because it protects your head. And if you do have a fall, it keeps you from having any type of injury, or it minimizes the injury that you might have. Also, if you do have a child that's starting to ride a bike, make sure they wear the little training wheels on there. Like if they're not ready to have the training wheels come off, don't just go ahead and say we're gonna, take them off and have you riding down the street. Unattended, that is danger in the making. So you don't want to do that. I've seen that before.
Yes, me too. You too big for these training wheels. You finna ride this thing.
Right, going straight down the hill, and then run into traffic.
And if you fall, I'm gonna get you.
Right, and they're looking like, help me, somebody. Y'all know exactly who family member we're talking about.
Yes.
Right.
Oh Lord, yes.
Right. So those are just some kind of like things as far as bike safety. And just making sure your children have sunscreen, things like that on their skin. I know people like to think that just because you have melanin in your skin, or you're African American, or someone of darker skin tone, that you don't need sunscreen. We see a lot of that. Like
I think that.
Right. We burn too. We actually need sunscreen as well. So you can buy stuff over the counter. I think it's like SPF, 30 or 35, somewhere around that. So it protects your skin as well.
Okay.
Because we can get burned too, but a lot of people don't know that.
Yeah, we get burned. I've been burned.
Right. So,
I've been burning my nose, but I always thought that, since we dark, we are protected.
Right, and we're taught that. Like when we're little, they never tell us, like even when you have food, they never tell you to, put sunscreen on.
We just think it's just for
or hat, right. Just a lot of complexion people.
For us, in the tropical, in the tropics, usually when the sun is the hottest, when it's between 12 and 2, that's the time that you stay under the sun.
Right.
Oh, okay. Anything else on safety?
And just kind of let your kids go outside, have fun. Right. Like Carla said, make sure you stay hydrated, plenty of water, like fluids.
Yes.
Do not load your kids with sugar, so like sodas.
Yes.
Kool-Aid coolers.
No.
Right. So just kind of minimize that too as well. It's not good for them, like that. So make sure you kind of, influence them and say, hey, here's some water, and give you a couple of like water bottles. You take those with you and you drink, for water. Because most kids do not like water. They don't.
No. Make it cold. Make it cold, because my kids.
Lemon.
Yeah, make it cold. Like some kids don't like, because they want that sweet taste. They want that flavor. So
Kool-Aid.
Right. Yeah, so just make it cold, because and we the parents, so we have to make sure that we, they're not parenting us, but we are parenting them, and make sure that they are staying safe and they are staying hydrated, because like I said, it's summertime. The kids. It's going to be hot, and the kids are going to want to have fun, and we just want to make sure that we keep them safe, because we know sex trafficking is hot in Atlanta. So that's another one, a safety that we need to make sure that our kids, I always tell my kids to stay in twos. Don't never go nowhere by yourself. Stay in twos and watch each other back, because it is hot here in Atlanta. And we just want to make sure that our kids are safe, and they make it home back safe.
Right. You just said to us, I was going to say, let your mother know, let your parents know exactly where you're going, just in case something happens. They don't know where to start. It's okay, well, the lady went here.
Right.
So you're not going to start checking there for her. Right. So it's important also.
Right. Yeah. And always check in as a child. It's not like someone is trying to monitor, but even if you're a teenager, just still be like, hey, Mom, we're at the movies. Movie gets out at 10 or whatever. Just make sure you're always in communication with somebody, because anything can happen in 5 to 10 minutes. Something can happen that quick, and no one would even know. So it's good to always check in, because most kids have cell phones now anyway.
Yes,
like that. Yes. So you have to train them like, hey, this is what we're going to do to make sure you're safe and you're okay when you're out in the public. So things like that.
What about safety on the internet?
Right. You can set up things on your actual internet that monitors what they're looking at. You can block your settings on there. You can block that are inappropriate. You can block those actually. But you have to go into settings and
you can
change it.
Yeah, you can do that.
Oh, okay.
So you can kind of monitor what they're getting into. If they try to get into, just kind of when you have your like a cable, you can put a code and pass if it has certain ratings on it, like a rated or PG. You can block your kids from getting into those things as well. Because sometimes, cable has whatever on it now. You have inappropriate stuff like nude scenes. You can actually set it like that so it blocks those things they can't even get into unless they have a code. There's things you can do.
And even for the teenagers, I know they have different reports that you can get as a parent. They'll tell you exactly what the child was looking at and
on their phone. What about on their phone?
Like I know T-Mobile has an app that you can monitor their behavior and stuff they've downloaded, things like that.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yeah, so
check with your carrier.
Right, I
have Metro.
Right.
It's a Metro.
They're the same family.
Yeah, they're all the same family. Yeah, I'm gonna have to look into that because, like I said, the internet is now it's the point where it's getting very, very unsafe for our kids because you have adults playing like they're kids.
Yes.
And trying to rear the kids in to meet them somewhere and are they on there doing just doing inappropriate stuff on the internet. It's not to, we want the kids to have fun. Want them to have fun, but we want them to stay safe while they're on the internet, on these social media, because now it's quick now. It's what I'm trying to say.
It's instant. They can stuff. It's like they can put in a word, and under images, all kind of things will pop up. So they'll be exposed to things that are inappropriate just by putting in one word.
Yeah.
You see that too. So you always got to be mindful of what they're actually looking for on there and why they're looking for those particular things, because they can be exposed to those things and mentally they might not be ready, or emotionally they might not be ready. Yeah. Because they're still a child though.
Yeah.
So if it's a parent having a conversation with their children.
That relationship. Make sure you're keeping that relationship strong and keeping connected with your kids so you know what they're doing and if they're doing something inappropriate, because I have caught some of my kids, and have had to take phones away and stuff like that, but it's all about their safety. And if you have to take away the phone and let them know that you ain't playing, you do what you have to do, you know what I'm saying? Because you don't want to, it may be a little thing now, but it start off to something that could be a very, very worse. So I really think we need to start thinking about safety of our kids now, because like I said, they get into so much stuff to the point where we are allowing the internet and social media to take care of our kids.
Yeah, to babysit our children. I think as parents, it's our responsibility to parent our children. So we have to monitor what they do. Yeah. Because just like we were monitored, I know I was monitored. We have to monitor our kids, our children. We definitely have to do that.
Yeah, we have to now. We definitely have to do it now. We definitely have to do it now. And
because there's so much inappropriate stuff, like for stuff that maybe I was exposed to. Yeah. It was maybe when I was 19 or 20 versus when they're like 9, 10
Yes.
You know what I mean? Even like cartoons are inappropriate now. You have to look at it again and like, is that cartoon character really doing that? Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So you have to think about what your child's being exposed to and how you can kind of monitor and intervene and let them know certain expectations of them. If they have that phone, if you're surfing the net, things like that. Because I promise you, most kids, if you let them do anything, they're going to try to run rampant with it.
Yeah. And then also you have to make sure who your kids hang around too. Right. Because peer pressure is peer pressure, and they can they can in what's the word, y'all? Influence into doing something that they know they ain't supposed to be doing, and they want to do it too. So we just and we at the day and time that we just have to be nosy, be all up in their business,
right? Do one of those spot check on your phone. Like they'll never know. Like I do this personally. I when I feel like I need to check it, Take the phone, go through it, look and see what's been going on. You'll never know.
That's how I found out stuff.
Right, because you get really relaxed. Think about it. Mom hasn't checked my phone in a long time. I'm going to keep texting away and doing what I'm doing because they don't think you're going to do it. But when you do spot check, surprise, you get information.
Yes, I have done that, and I have found some stuff, inappropriate stuff. Right. So, yeah, I have, because